Hey, we made it.
Also, this isn't Star Wars, so I'm not sure. We're not gonna share this in the normal Star Wars places.
Well, a little bit more selective.
Don't think that they would care that much.
I feel like there is a fair amount of overlap between Star Wars nerds and Marvel nerds.
I think there is too.
There we go.
I want to make sure I was spelling it correctly.
All right.
I think we're ready to go. Yeah.
Let's go.
Do not adjust your TV sets. This is a special episode of the Jedi Enclave Presents the Now This is Podcasting podcast on a day we don't ordinarily do podcasts, but I am Daniel.
I'm Chris.
And the two of us just saw the latest entry, Marvel entry.
Marvel's Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts. Yes. We just got back
a little bit ago.
Yep. That sound right now is my partner making dog food. And I'm sure he isn't purposefully messing up my podcast right now by slamming a spoon into a fucking bowl.
He would never.
Anyway, you and I just got back from seeing Thunderbolts just a couple of hours ago, and what a lot of fun it was.
Yeah,
and it's
it comes by its 90% or whatever fresh score on Rotten Tomatoes. Honestly,
yeah. I mean, as far as MCU films go, it's one of the good ones, I think. This is the only thing we're talking about today. We will, of course, be back on Wednesday for the official Jedi Enclave Presents and Now This is Podcasting podcast.
Do you ever get tired of saying all those words?
No, I actually, I kind of like it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, and I've said it enough times now where it just kind of rolls off the tongue, and it's very us.
Yeah.
To find out that there must be a podcast out there somewhere called
Now This is
Podcasting.
But there isn't one called the Jedi Enclave Presents the Now This is Podcasting podcast.
Which is very us to have it that extra,
yeah.
I think. So, I don't know. I like our podcast name.
Anyway.
So yeah, we're only talking about this today. It'll be a short show, probably. I think we're going for half an hour. That's my personal goal, half an hour, and then we're out. But while you're here, if you go follow us on Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitch, and Discord, and Blue Sky, all the links there are in the description. And then, like I said, coming up on Wednesday will be the official podcast with
and/or episodes 7 through 9, Last of Us Season 2, episode 4.
Yeah. Which will also be a blast.
Probably some other stuff, but like that's already enough to fill a 2-hour podcast.
No, unless Star Wars Theory has said something really stupid again that we have to like talk about, it'll only be that stuff.
Or like Disney gets fed up with Taika Waititi and sends their ninjas to actually assassinate him.
Yeah.
Or send him to the Backstreet Boys reunion too.
And then I think later tonight, probably after you leave, we'll be doing Star Wars Battlefront 2, so you can check that out at 7 p.m. Central. So let's get into this. I want to start with a spoiler-free little chat about this this piece of cinema that we saw. Well, actually, can we talk about some of the trailers that we saw?
Sure.
Because there's some stuff that we're really excited about seeing, right? One of them, Fantastic Four, looks like a lot of fun.
Fantastic Four, definitely, yep.
And I won't say anything about that right now. We didn't see the Superman trailer, James Gunn's Superman. However,
I honestly, I wonder if Marvel is deliberately putting in their contract for this movie, like, if you show our movie, you cannot show the Superman trailer.
Yeah. That actually might even be the case. However, it was on my mind because it's another superhero movie that's coming out this summer that we're going to go see.
Let's see. Tron Ares was a trailer.
Yes. Which, is that happening this summer?
I believe so.
Okay, so that's another one that we'll see. And then Jurassic Park Part 7, another one, starring Scarlett Johansson for some reason, and what's his name? The guy that played Fiyero in the new Wicked movie.
This time they need to go to the island they made before they made the island, so that they can get the dinosaurs that were too dangerous to put in.
It's the extra island. Dangerous ones. Yeah.
Which, like, one of them they describe as a flying carnivore the size of an F-16.
Yeah, which they are bleeding this thing.
Yeah,
for all it's worth.
Honestly, I have a question. How many of the trailers we saw were not from an existing franchise? Like, were totally original?
I don't think any of them were, because even there's a Predator movie coming out this fall. But
there was that trailer with the magicians.
Oh, Now You See Me, Now You Don't. Yeah,
I feel like I was supposed to know like what was going on.
Well, you know that franchise has had like 4 movies.
I don't think I've seen any of them.
I don't think I have either because they're really fucking stupid. Like I don't think that they're very good movies, and I really dislike Jesse Eisenberg.
Okay.
I think he's extraordinarily irritating, and yes, this might be because he played the worst Lex Luthor I'd ever seen. And Lex Luthor in Batman v Superman is unbearable.
The same could be said for much of that movie.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Come at me, Snyder Bros.
Yeah. Hashtag release the Snyder Cut.
Which they did, and it wasn't much.
Yeah, and it wasn't much better, was it? So all that community organizing you did for nothing. Good job.
What were we talking about?
Spoiler-free Thunderbolts. Oh, trailers. Okay.
Let's see. Fantastic Four.
I think we got all of them. We saw we of course saw the
Nicole Kidman spot where
the heartbreak feels good in a place like this.
AMC is so fucking sniffing their own farts in this like. All of Hollywood takes themselves way too seriously. They feel like they're a form of art on par with like the Mona Lisa or something.
No, AMC's like, we have to make a pre-show ad that like Martin Scorsese would be really into.
and then show it before a movie that Martin Scorsese would never go see.
Right, yeah, exactly. He hates superhero movies. So let's move to our spoiler-free section. Let me just say right off the bat. We've said this before. MCU movies are all over the fucking place, particularly after Endgame. And I understand the struggle because Infinity War and Endgame were masterpieces. They both were. I love them both equally. And they're not without sins, but to this day, I still watch Endgame and I still cry. Like, it has an effect on me. And there is, I think, a summit that those two films reached that the MCU may never be able to reach again.
Yeah.
That being said, Thunderbolts, if you were to group all of the movies after Endgame into Secret Invasion level suck.
Yeah, just throw them into a pot, rank them.
Yeah, like one side's really bad, one side's like good to serviceable. Great, yeah. I would put Thunderbolts in the good column.
Absolutely.
Like, I think it was more than average. I think it was better than average. I had a lot of fun watching it. It's really funny.
This movie is hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of it was ad-libbed and how much of it was like scripted, but either way, it's hilarious.
Yeah, though. Who's the cast on this, by the way?
Let's see. Florence Pugh.
Yeah, Florence Pugh, who, by the way, I think is like a really good comedy actor, but also a really good like dramatic actor. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Sebastian Stan returns as Bucky Barnes. Wyatt Russell.
Yes, I haven't seen him in a long time.
I haven't seen him since Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I think.
Yeah.
When he beat a man to death with his shield and went crazy. And you know what? I like how he plays this character in the movie. And there were a couple of moments where I was like, hot damn, he sounds just like Kurt Russell, his father. Yeah. And it like, and he looks a lot like him too. Like it was kind of insane.
I barely even remember him from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, he is fantastic in this movie.
Yeah.
Like he has kind of the same thing with Florence Pugh, where like he does some dramatic stuff, but he also does some comedy stuff, and it's all really good.
Yeah. Lewis Pullman is Bob, who also is another Nepo baby. He's Bill Pullman's son, the guy that plays
President Independence Day.
Right, exactly. Geraldine Viswanathan is Mel. Also, Olga Kirilenko is, I'm so sorry. If you watch the podcast, I'm very sorry. As a Taskmaster, and then of course so Mel, we said Mel,
who is the assistant to Valentina,
hold on, it's here, Valentina Allegra de Fontaine.
Yeah, there we go.
Who is played by the amazing Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Louis Dreyfus?
Yes, Louis Dreyfus. Thank you. Jesus Christ. And then
who would have thought Elaine from Seinfeld would be playing a major role in the MCU?
And then David Harbour.
Oh God.
As Elena's father, the
Red Guardian.
The Red Guardian.
Red Guardian.
Yeah, who is such a delight in this movie and is hilarious. And I think everything I've seen him in, even David Harbour was in like another reboot of the Hellboy franchise. And the film isn't great, but he's really good in it as Hellboy. He's like, I think the first time I'd noticed him was in season 1 of Stranger Things. He plays a really big character in that, but he's been in shit before that. Like I think he was in like The Bourne Identity or something, like these random like little things. Yeah. And I think he's great. He's a lot of fun.
I feel like this is the character he was born to play.
Oh yeah. What's crazy to me is he's not even Russian, but I totally buy it.
Yeah, like I totally he hands it up so much, and he's so exuberant with his actions, and he's so good.
I feel like this movie is what Suicide Squad was trying really hard to be.
100%, yes.
And I think they do it better, and it works out a lot better because the inciting incident that brings them all together is more interesting. Their personalities are way more interesting, I feel like. And like the way that they kind of like each of the characters have, like they all have their, like, for example, Wyatt Russell as Captain America Light.
Dime store Captain America.
Yeah, he's always just like 3 seconds from just like wigging out and going insane and breaking something. Like he's so angry. And Yelena's kind of very irreverent and sarcastic, and like you can tell every time something happens, she has to remind herself that like I have to just accept this. This is my life now, kind of a thing. And then, of course, Bucky Barnes is has been Bucky since we've known him from Captain America.
He's constantly trying to live up to the example of Steve Rogers,
right?
And
David Harbour's Red Guardian is a very sensitive man, yes, in a superhero's body, and from a culture where you're not supposed to be sensitive at all. So he tries to be really tough, but on the inside he is extraordinarily sensitive and self-conscious.
He wants to be the hero so badly.
Yeah,
he craves that recognition and glory, and just someone looking at him with love in their eyes and saying thank you for saving my life, Red Guardian.
Wait, David Harbour's in Sons of Anarchy?
Oh,
or did you mean someone else?
I could kind of see him as,
I can't remember. I've seen it way back in the day. Like I think I've seen at least one season of it. So anyway, the back and forth between all the characters, I think the performances are really good. The villain is neat. In fact, very visually striking. At one time in his thing. I don't think it's a spoiler because it's in the trailers, but his like just zapping like Hiroshima style shadows.
Just boop, you're a shadow now.
Yeah. Ron Perlman was not in this movie. You're thinking of someone entirely different. Ron Perlman also was another Hellboy.
He was
another Hellboy. Yeah.
The good Marvel movies, or sometimes just good movies in general, try to have some sort of coherent theme around their cast.
Yeah.
And we'll get into it more when we talk spoilers, but I think they do a really good job of establishing that this cast all has something similar about themselves that kind of pulls them together and makes the climax make more sense, because it's all these people with this with this same, not the same situation, but the same sort of deal that they're going through. It's neat writing trick that I noticed in the third act when everything came together.
I wasn't crazy about the music.
I thought it was fine.
It was really forgettable, which is a sin that Marvel movies commit often. Because you can tell that most of the filmmakers are like, oh, I just need that superhero thing. Like, it doesn't need to be anything crazy. But it's like, you know that you can have Alan Silvestri's music for Infinity War and Endgame is phenomenal. And that's what you expect when you hire someone phenomenal like Alan Silvestri. You spend a little more money on a composer and you get a way better result. And the result for like Infinity War and Endgame are these heartbreakingly tender moments in some areas. Or, I mean, Alan Silvestri is the reason everyone cares about Thanos in Endgame or Infinity War, because he's kind of the main character of Infinity War.
Yeah.
He's underscored so well, and you're kind of queued up with those musical moments where you start to care about his, like, you don't agree with him, but
you kind of get where he's coming from.
Yeah, and you understand that he's a man in this cosmically large struggle because of the music, and not just moments like that, but these huge heroic moments like in Endgame, like the final scene where they're all coming out of the fucking portals and shit. Like, that moment I still cry during every time I watch that movie. Or when, spoilers, like Tony Stark dies. All of these moments underscored by amazing music that elevates the film. And just because it's a Thunderbolts movie, just because it's like one of those rando, it's the fucking MCU movie before Fantastic Four. You know, it's just a fun thing. Like, you can elevate it from being just that to something way better if you had really good music. And it's one of those areas I wish I had done better in. Any other spoiler-free thoughts?
No, I don't think so. I think we can.
All right, we're gonna get into spoilers. So if you've not seen Thunderbolts yet, which by the way,
this movie came out like 2 days ago.
Yeah, it's not even like it's completely reasonable.
Yeah,
like if you haven't gotten out to see it yet,
we don't know your life. We don't know if you're like 3 hours from your nearest movie theater or whatever. So if you haven't had time to go see Thunderbolts, that's fine. Just go away, come back. This will be on YouTube in a few days. You can watch it then. Yeah,
and we will be also talking about the post-credit scene. Which was kind of a big deal and connects to an upcoming MCU film that's coming out. So I like how this, I like Yelena's struggle in this film. And I like how we start with her, it's just another day on the job.
Yeah, just another day in the office. She clocked in, she got her coffee, she's sitting on top of this skyscraper. She's talking about how her life is so fucking boring at this point, and then she just fucking jumps off the side and parachutes to the next skyscraper over.
I really thought this was going somewhere else much darker.
Yeah, they give you that impression because she's talking about how bored and depressed she is.
Yeah, and then just jumps off the building.
Yeah,
and oh God, I hope she has a parachute.
God.
Oh God, thank God she has a parachute.
Yeah, she's fine.
But I love this thing where she has an extraordinarily crazy job.
Yeah.
But she does it so well and so often that she's like kind of bored with it.
Yeah.
And so her job is to break into this lab and destroy the lab pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no.
She's destroying some very specific evidence.
Yeah, but she can't get to it because of a fucking face scanner.
So, like, she's monologuing over this opening action sequence, and then we cut to her, like, sitting in this lab with a guy, like, hogtied in front of her.
Yeah.
And, she's describing how bored and how much ennui she has, and she's like,
yeah.
Do you get that? And the guy has tape on his mouth, so he can't say anything. She's like, of course you don't get it. Also, your face is the wrong one for that scanner. And then this guy in the lab coat comes in and she's like, hey, you have a good face. Let me rub that against the scanner.
Also, I appreciate when the scientist comes in, she knows all the general beats he's going to follow. And she's like,
she's been doing this for so long.
She's like, you're going to pull out a gun now, and then you're going to plead, and you're going to tell me, oh, no, the project's way too dangerous.
You don't understand. Blah, blah, blah.
So she figures out that only way to get the mission done is to blow up the entire floor.
Yeah. Well, I think the doctor like accidentally shoots himself or something, and she's like, well, shit, now I can't use your face. I guess I have to pull out a bomb.
Yeah.
And then we cut to her like walking down the street. This shot was in the trailer. She's walking down the street on her cell phone. She's like, mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Oh wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's done.
Yeah, it's done. What they didn't show in the trailer, some deceptive editing, was that she's holding a guinea pig on the way out because there's like a test guinea pig.
An ice cream cone or something in the trailer, right?
Is that what it was?
I think so.
Man, I tell you, man, MCU trailers cannot be trusted.
Yeah, she rescued a little guinea pig from the lab before she blew it up.
Right.
Because she's not a monster.
Right, of course not. So we find out that D. Fontaine is
Valentina Allegra de Fontaine
is being impeached.
The head of the CIA in this universe.
And she is she's in a little bit of trouble, and this one Congress guy is after her quite a bit, and she does a really good balance act of looking really calm and collected in front of the congressional hearing. And then turning around and shitting her pants to her assistant. It's like, we have to burn all the fucking evidence. Yes. We have to do this and this and this.
So, like, she has a connection to this company that was doing unethical...
OXC. Ox, I guess? Ox?
OX. Yeah.
OXC.
So she's like, okay, box up everything involved with the human trials. Get it to this lab in the middle of the desert. We can't have any evidence left behind.
Right. Yelena goes to like she's really having this crisis of her life, really, and she calls Valerie, right? Valentina. Yeah.
I think that happens after because I think she goes.
It doesn't matter when we're not going scene by scene, but she calls because she's a little like
yes. So she stops by Red Guardian's house and they talk for a little bit, and finally he's like,
it turns out he's miserable, by the way.
He's miserable, but he's hiding it. And she asks, like, how do you get fulfillment in life? He was like, I was most fulfilled when I was a superhero in the public and people loved me.
Defending Mother Russia.
Yeah, so you should try that. Like, go to Russia and be a superhero. And she's like, I'm not going to go to Russia, but I will try being a superhero.
Yeah.
So she calls up Valentina's like, hey, I don't want to shoot people anymore. I want to be a superhero.
Something more public facing.
Yes.
Is
Valentina's like, okay, I got one more job and then I can put you in the public eye.
Right. And by the way, here's this is a crazy job. We have this location way out in the middle of nowhere. It's dug a mile deep into a mountain, and there is an enemy asset that is uniquely positioned to steal from me from this thing. So I want you to follow her in. Sorry, follow them in. I don't know it's a her. I have no idea who it is.
I think she does say her.
And then
find out what she's trying to steal,
and then kill her. Yeah.
And then kill her.
And so Yelena's like, okay, that's actually sounds kind of easy.
Pretty easy, yeah.
So she goes to the location, and we know immediately she's following Ghost.
Yes, because Ghost just fucking phases through the door.
Yeah, so it's the Ghost from the Ant-Man films. And she follows her down the elevator into this room.
Into the vault.
Yeah. And she goes to kill her, but then fucking
John Walker shows up.
John Walker's there, and he's trying to kill Yelena.
Yelena's like, what the fuck, dude? And John's like, I don't know what's going on with her. I'm just here to kill you.
And then like Taskmaster shows up, and she's there to kill John Walker.
Yeah.
And then
Ghost is like, wait a minute, I was supposed to kill Taskmaster.
Yeah. So what the fuck is happening here? And so they all fight for a second. It's kind of goofy. Yeah. I like this move that John Walker does where he's so fucking extra that he can't just take a clip out of his gun. He's got to like
he does the wick
yank it out
every time.
Yeah. It's like, oh, come the fuck on, man. And you can tell he's like, all these ladies. Yeah, I'm gonna do some impressing. Yeah.
Single and ready to mingle.
Yes, and look at my magazine flipping abilities, ladies. You know, I've got it where other places.
So this fight scene just kind of ends up with Ghost unceremoniously capping Taskmaster in the head. Like Taskmaster's going to do something. Ghost just appears in front of her. Boom. It's over. And
now we know why Taskmaster wasn't in any of the other scenes in the trailer.
Yep. She dies like 5 minutes in.
I think we see that actor's face a single time.
Yep.
She like opens the mask and then closes it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if something happened or this actor wasn't around the whole time,
or maybe that was the plan.
I don't know. It felt a little unceremonious. They mention it once later on in the film.
Yeah.
But she really does just get capped, and then they just leave her there.
Yeah.
And Yelena even doesn't seem to react that much to it.
Not a ton, I guess.
Yeah. Because Taskmaster was former.
Yeah. Former Red Room.
Yeah.
So they all stop for a second, and then out comes this dude in medical scrubs who says, "Hey, I'm Bob. Can you not point your guns at me? That'd be really nice."
I love his. He's so unassuming and like doesn't understand what's going on.
Because from his perspective, he was in a medical clinic for some tests, and then he woke up and there's people with guns shooting and punching each other
with no idea like how much time has passed or anything. Yeah, and so they have no idea what the deal with him is. But what they do know is that they can't get out of the room now because these big fucking doors have closed.
Doors have all locked. They talk to each other for a second. Wait a minute. You work for Valentina. And she sent you here to kill him, and works for Valentina and sent here to kill me, and they work out that they've all been set up.
Yeah, they're all going to be killed. And
while all this is happening in Washington, Valentina.
Oh yeah, they're doing a little party.
Yeah, having a little party, and you know she's
a political
with people.
Thing.
Yeah. Bucky, who's a congressman now, is chatting up Valentina's assistant, being like, "Hey, you know,
you seem like not a piece of shit.
Yeah, you know, if you ever want to, turn traitor on your boss, here's my card. Give me a call."
Yeah.
So Valentina.
Also, does it come off a little to you like he might have been putting the eyes on her a little bit?
I mean, maybe
because I don't know if it's just that Bucky's really charming. Maybe that's how he won his election. I don't know. But it definitely, like, if I were Mel, I'd been like, oh, my God, it's Bucky Barnes.
I mean, sir, Bucky, you are 90 years old, and she is, like, 22. This is probably her first job out of college.
Oh, he's older than 90 years old.
Yeah. Anyway, so Mel comes up to Valentina and is like, okay, they're all there, every single one of them, and Valentina's like, great, now turn on the incinerator.
Execute Order 66.
Yeah. I was like, okay.
A little extreme.
Yes.
But okay.
There is a, just there for the movies, timer on the wall.
Right,
2 minutes.
I leaned in. I was like, why is there a timer? 2-minute timer. So they figure out that, they're going to get blasted. Ghost can't face through the door because there's like a gadget.
There's a sound barrier thing. So they find the power generator, and Walker bashes it with his shield, and then Ghost goes out. With
a ridiculous fucking callback when he says, on your left, and then, It was really funny, though, because that's the kind of thing that you could tell John Walker probably found out after researching Captain America.
And then practiced it in the mirror.
And really wanted it to work, right? Yeah. And now, like, he only uses it for, like, the most inappropriate moments.
So Ghost phases out. There's a long sequence while everyone in there is like, shit, we just met, and we were all trying to kill each other. Is she going to come back? And the door opens, and they all get out.
Yeah.
They get blasted out, and Yelena and Bob are, like, holding hands when
on accident, I think, yeah.
And
they're touching on accident.
And Yelena has this flashback to one of her most shameful / traumatic memories.
I don't think it's a flashback so much as she is sucked into a moment that is really painful for her, which is her first test at the Red Room, which is the
first time she was involved with killing someone. Like, she had to lure one of her friends out in the woods so a man could shoot her,
send her to the Backstreet Boys reunion tour.
Yeah.
And then
they wake up.
She snaps out of it. And she's like, "What the fuck?" Because of the weird thing, like he shows up in her vision.
Yeah.
Bob does, and she's like, "What?
Why are you here, Bob?"
And so they realize they've gotten out of the incinerator room. However,
but the elevator they used to get down, like, a mile down here, isn't working.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
So they have to do some teamwork, and what they settle on is they all go back to back in the elevator shaft and are, like, coordinated stepping their way up, 1 foot at a time.
Oh, Bob's idea, by the way.
Yeah.
And then they realize when they get to the top that the door is closed, and if one of them lets go of their thing, they all fall. And they're able, like, John Walker is very impulsive and makes a move, but somehow it works out for everyone.
Yeah.
And everyone gets, pulled up. And
in the process, John Walker and Bob hold hands while he's pulling him up, and John Walker gets sent to one of his most shameful memories.
It turns out, and this is no surprise to anyone, John Walker is a terrible father and not a very good husband at all. And at this point in his life was so obsessed with being the fallen Captain America. Yeah.
After the whole incident where he, sent a man to a Backstreet Boys reunion tour with his shield in public, in the middle of the street in front of cameras.
Yeah.
That he was kind of spiraling.
Yeah. In the meantime, Valentina sends a strike team.
Yes. Valentina realizes that, hey, these people that we thought were going to be incinerated didn't get incinerated. Maybe we should just send in people with guns to do it.
They also realize that there's a rando guy with them, and they can't figure out who the fuck he is at first.
And Mel does some digging and says, hey, I think he's involved with the Sentinel program.
Now, it is worth mentioning that at some point when Valentina is instructing Mel on what to do, they're in a limo that is being driven by the Red Guardian. He's moonlighting as a limo driver, right? Because he doesn't have anything else going.
I think that's just his job now.
Yeah,
actually.
right. Yeah.
Like that's not his moonlight. That is his day job.
And so he realizes that Yelena's in danger,
and just fucking floors it.
Yeah, but peels out. So the strike team gets here. They have this whole plan that they're going to use to like defeat the soldiers, but it doesn't work. So they have to.
Yeah, they wind up having to punch and shoot their way out the way they always do.
Yeah.
Then they get some disguises and sneak out, and they steal a truck, and they're about to leave.
Bob saves them. He creates a distraction and saves them. Turns out he can float a little bit, and
he's also bulletproof.
Yeah, very bulletproof. Can fly, go straight up into the air, and then for some reason just falls right back down.
He's not very good at it.
Yeah, he's right. He's figured there's some things he needs to figure out about flying. And so the rest of them are like, well, he did this so we can get away. So let's get the fucking go.
Away, yeah. They end up walking through the desert, and.
One of the many hilarious moments of this film.
So like they're walking and talking, and Yelena sees something on the horizon, and they're all like, "The fuck are you?" And then she fucking dives down, and they all get down and are looking over this hill, and there's this dust cloud coming towards them. Yelena's like, "Please don't be Red Guardian. Please don't be Red Guardian. Please don't be Red Guardian." Fuck, it's Red Guardian.
Yeah, and it's just her dad honking the horn,
laying on
screaming
the horn.
her name.
Yelena!
Yeah. And she's like trying so hard. She's like, I don't know that man.
Yelena, it's your father. I'm here to pick you up.
And she's just like, oh, for fuck's sake, kill me. So he picks him up. They try to drive away. The army or the guys catch up.
Hilarious scene in the limo where Alexei is just going through like Yelena's life story, and like at some point Yelena had mentioned the Thunderbolts in there, and someone said, "Yeah, we're the Thunderbolts." And he's like, "Oh my god, you named your team after your childhood soccer team. That's so adorable."
Which I think it's funny that the Thunderbolts, the name comes apparently Yelena was on a pee-wee soccer team when she was little.
That was terrible. Didn't win a game.
They didn't win a single time, and one of the girls pooped on the field during one of the games.
Why did they bring this up? I don't know.
Which is a parallel story to the Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
And by the way, John Walker is the most likely to poop in the middle of the field, right? In the middle of something.
I think so.
Yeah, I think that's probably correct.
So they get chased by a military convoy, and Bucky saves them, and then
immediately disables them.
Disables them. Yeah. And they wake up tied up in an abandoned gas station in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
And Bucky's like, "All right. So you're all my witnesses.
I'm bringing you in. Yeah.
You're all my witnesses for Valentina's impeachment. So congratulations on that. We're going to Washington." And then he gets a phone call from Mel, Valentina's assistant.
Yeah.
And Mel's like, "Dude, Valentina has Bob up here, and it turns out Bob has like fucking insane superpowers, and he's also really mentally unstable."
Yeah, he's got a whole bunch of problems. I think that just on the surface, he probably has some pretty intense bipolar tendencies, but also...
Well, he describes almost exactly manic depressive. Like, he has really, really good days, and then he has long stretches of really, really bad days.
Yeah. Which is also in line with the bipolar thing, and also has some really what's the right word I'm thinking of? Really antisocial, like
a lot of it is caused by having an abusive father and a mother who didn't really stand up to it at all.
But he's got some really narcissistic, antisocial, like visions of grandeur and shit too.
Yeah, which he wants to be someone.
Yeah,
because like his childhood, he was kind of beaten down and not really allowed to shine at anything.
Yeah. So we find out that after Bucky finds out who they're dealing with, he's like, okay, well, actually, we're going to go to New York.
You're all my deputies here. We're going to go to New York and kick some ass.
Welcome to the Good Guys Club. Yeah. We're going to go fix this
problem. And Red Guardian's like, woo!
Yeah. Which, by the way, I love how everyone they react to Bucky as like Congressman Barnes.
Yeah.
But Alexei, upon seeing him for the first time, is like, that's the fucking Winter Soldier.
Yes. He calls him Mr. Soldier.
Yeah, his like fucking, Russian compatriot, This is hilarious. Are you done dying over there? You okay?
I think so.
Would you like some of my well, there's not a lot left, actually. So they drive from wherever the fuck they are,
Utah,
to New York.
Yes.
Which it turns out that she, Valentina, has taken over Stark Tower, the Avengers Tower, and turned it into her own thing called the Watchtower.
Yep.
And that's where she's holding Bob. And she gets her claws in and manipulates him and is like, look, you're amazing. I think you're amazing. I believe in you, and you're going to be world's mightiest hero.
I'm the only one who understands you.
Right. So put on this ridiculous costume we made and dye your hair, because we did a focus group on it. And basically,
they're turning him into Homelander.
Yeah, that's a really good comparison, actually. So they get to New York. But someone asked Bucky what the plan is.
Yeah, Bucky's like,
he's like, oh
shit, we need a plan, don't we? Oh look, there's the Watchtower. Crashes through the front door.
Yeah, crashes the
and
car
they
right
jump
in.
out and start punching all these government soldiers, and this goes on for like a minute or two, and finally the intercom comes on. And like Valentina's like, Jesus, guys, I just put that drywall in.
The drywall.
The doors were unlocked.
Yeah.
Do you want to just come upstairs and we can talk about this?
Yeah, come up here. I have someone I want you to meet.
And like Bucky punches the guy he's holding one more time, and they all go up the elevator.
So they all squeeze into the elevator. They go up and they meet Bob as
Valentina first,
right? Which they're like, okay, we're taking you in. You're under arrest.
And she's like, no, I don't think so.
I am the Senate. Yeah. And she's like, well, good luck with getting past my the new hero of Earth, Sentinel.
Yes.
Who is just Bob. In this really flashy, shiny, like really generic-looking superhero suit.
Yeah,
and they've dyed his hair blonde, and he's looking very pleased with himself and everything. And Yelena's like, Bob, what the fuck, man?
The fuck, dude?
Like, we were kind of friends. Yeah. Remember when we escaped Valentina's like bullshit, and like we kind of had a moment and everything. And he's just like, well,
see, Valentina said some very nice things to me and like validated my existence.
Yes.
So I'm kind of leaning towards her. Right?
And there might have been breastfeeding involved. I'll never tell.
Yeah.
And Yelena's like, gross.
That's weird.
Okay. Anyway,
Valentina's like, I would like you to kill them now.
Yeah, kill them, please, or at least take care of them.
Yes.
Right.
Camera crews are on the way, so if you could finish them off while the cameras are watching, that'd be great.
Yeah, that way everyone can see how much of a hero you are and shit. And we get a good look at Sentinel's power set, which are insane.
Yes.
He's got telepathy. He's got he can float.
He's like Superman with telepathy and telekinesis, basically.
Right. Yeah. Because there's that one moment where he's able to just stop bullets in midair, and then he throws.
He throws Red Guardian out the window and then pulls him back in and punches him or something.
He's a little insane, actually, and
like he rips Bucky's vibranium arm off at one point and hits him with it.
Which, by the way, after they get their asses kicked, they all pile into the elevator again.
Yeah.
He bends John Walker's shield
into a taco.
Yeah. And I like how as they're all like trying to get into the elevator to get away from him, Ghost grabs Bucky's arm. She's like, "Oh, he'll want this back, I think."
So Valentina's like, "Okay, great job. Camera should be downstairs. If you just want to, head down there and finish him off, that'd be great. And Sentinel's like,
wait a second.
Why?
Yeah, why?
Like, I'm a god. Why are you giving me orders? And Valentina's like, well, I don't really like the way this is going, so I'm going to pull out this kill switch I had the lab boys fix up for you. And oh, God, you're choking me, and not in a sexy way. Fortunately, Mel chooses that moment to walk in and press the button. And
right, because they installed this kill switch.
Yep.
That's supposed to, like, just kill him. But it doesn't do that. I
don't think it was supposed to kill him. It was just supposed to disable him.
No, it's supposed to kill him because the recovery team, she says to go recover the body.
Oh, okay.
And then the recovery team is like, what body? And she's like, huh? And they look
Meanwhile,
in the air.
Downstairs, because this is kind of important moment, Yelena's like, dude, we suck so much. Like,
yeah, we're the worst.
We just punch at people and shoot guns, and like,
none of us can fly.
None of us can fly. None of us have laser eyes or any of that shit. And one by one, the other guys are like, well, hey, I mean, we're not that bad. She's like, no. Ghost, you're a shitty thief. John Walker, you couldn't be Captain America no matter how hard you try.
Yeah, you're just really shit all the way around.
Like, I suck. Like, we're all just terrible. I'm going to go storm off this way. Y'all have a nice life.
Yeah. Alexei runs after her, of course. So they figure out that the body isn't where it's supposed to be. Yelena looks up in the sky, and we see the moment from the trailer, which is Sentinel turning into his like alter ego, the void,
shadowy black void.
Which, by the way, I like this effect a lot because that like it is impossibly dark, like black. Yes. And they start sending guys after him, and he has this really cool superpower where he just flattens them into shadows, like where they're standing.
Just poof.
Yeah, and he sends some helicopters spiraling and crashing, and shit starts raining down on people, and so the Thunderbolts get to be heroes.
Jump into action and start saving people and like knocking rubble out of the way. And
there is this one harrowing moment when Red Guardian saves this little girl. He puts himself over her as this huge piece of wreckage breaks over him, and he looks at her to say, ha, I'm a good guy, and she just gets flattened into a shadow, and you're like, holy fuck.
My favorite moment of this is there's this big piece of concrete that's falling onto a woman who's fallen on the street, and then John Walker like gets in there and like is barely holding up with
and they all join him and everything. Yeah, it is
like,
kind of nice.
It's cheesy as fuck.
Yeah,
but it works.
Yeah,
like it's them coming together as a team to accomplish something.
And there are a couple of moments, even though there's a lot of craziness happening, where people
they're like, hey,
they see Red Guardian do something, and they're like, hey man, thanks. And he's like, oh my god, this is so fucking cool.
That guy has a shield. He's Captain America or something.
So, the void starts turning Manhattan into a shadow, pretty much.
And there's this advancing shadow, and Yelena's looking up at him, and he's like,
I kind of liked you.
Yeah. Too bad I have to turn everything into non-existence now. And Yelena's like, you know what?
Fuck it.
Let's go in there.
She starts thinking about earlier when she went to go jump off the building. She's like, darkness, here I come.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
She walks right into the shadow.
And she's right in her memory of making the other girl come out into the woods again.
Yeah.
And like it cycles through a couple times and she can't escape and she can't like interfere with it to make it not happen. So eventually she punches through a wall and she's in another memory where there's a bunch of other Red Room girls like disassembling and reassembling guns or something. And like she's the fastest, so she's the one that doesn't get whipped by the overseer.
Yeah, she goes through a couple of vignettes of just really horrible memories.
And then finally she sees Bob in the mirror and Bob's like, oh, hey, Yelena, how you doing?
Hi.
So she goes in there and she's like, hey, Bob, how you doing? He's like, well, not great.
However, this is one of my less shitty memories.
So you remember back in the bunker when we were talking, like I asked you how you deal with your inner darkness and you said you just kind of compress it down and don't really think about it. Well, I tried that.
Yeah.
And
this is what happened.
Yeah. So
and Yelena's like, Bob, you should have known when I told you that. That was not good advice. And
I am not a licensed therapist, sir.
That was not medical advice. Like, you have some problems, and you're making it everyone's problem now. So, like, can you stop? And he's like, well,
not really.
That's the thing about like the void is that, there's like no use fighting against him and all that other shit.
So on the outside, like Ghost is like, I'm gonna go in there after her, and Bucky's like, that's stupid.
That's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard.
She could be dead. And Walker's like, well, what if she's not? Like back in the bunker, like when fucking Bob touched me, I saw this memory. Maybe there's something going on there. Mm. So turns out Yelena and Bob are hanging out in Bob's memory of one of the times his dad started beating his mother. Mm. And like they hear it happening downstairs, and Yelena just is like, okay, so if this is like not the worst memory, can you take me to the worst memory? And like maybe we can, work through some of this trauma here. And all of a sudden the room just starts throwing shit at them.
Oh my God, I just realized this entire movie is a man refuses to get therapy.
Yes.
And then is forced to.
Yes. The entire team has refused to get therapy.
Everyone. Yep.
Yeah. So, and that's what this
and
third
they're pretty
act
badly
is about.
needed too. Yeah.
Like this entire third act is a metaphor for working through your mental issues.
Yeah. They find themselves in the lab in like Malaysia, I think.
Yeah, the rest of the team comes in, they bust through a couple other memories, and they get back to this lab where when Bob first got his powers, he accidentally shadow realmed the two guys who were, doing the science on him. And then his alter ego stands up and turns around and is like, hey, you're never going to win. Like, you're going to be alone for your entire life and no one loves you.
And he looks stupid in blonde hair, you stupid fuck. And he's like, that cuts a little too deep, I think.
So, like,
the
Thunderbolts all get, like, thrown back and pinned to the wall, and Bob starts punching his shadowed self and
gets engulfed. I think it's like he's like, digging into his demons or whatever.
And Yelena's like, no, actually, that's wrong. Group hug?
Yeah, everyone come over here and hug Bob.
They break out of their bonds and like give Bob a big hug.
It looks better in the movie than what we're saying, by the way, because it sounds really stupid.
It sounds really stupid, but it's actually it's a nice moment. Yeah, like
I even noticed there was a moment where they're all grabbing a hold of him and everything, and he stops resisting. Mm-hmm. them and then just puts his hands on them and just kind of lets them all kind of like take him away, and it's like, okay, that is actually kind of nice.
And then they wake up in New York, which is gradually de-voidifying.
Yeah.
So they look up and like, okay, things seem better. Bob, can you like not do that again? And Bob's like, the fuck are you talking about? Like, how did I get to New York? Who are you people?
Hey, look, we're in New York.
And they're like, oh my God. But look, over there is Valentina on her cell phone trying to, call someone. And Red Guardian's like, I'm going to send her to the Backstreet Boys reunion tour.
Yeah, time for that to happen.
So they all go walking off after her, and she's like, okay, I understand you're upset. Let's just talk about this.
I'm going to hide behind this thing, and she disappears.
Yeah, she disappears behind the curtain, and they all walk out, and there's like a billion media people there.
It's a full-blown
press
conference.
Yeah. And Valentina's like, okay, so, that was not great for New York, but the day has been saved by the new Avengers.
And guess who invented them? I did.
Yes.
I'm the hero. I'm the actual hero here. Mm-hmm. You can't possibly impeach me because I've brought all of them together. This is all.
It was all me. Yeah. It was exclusively me. No one else.
Yeah. So yay, new Avengers.
And like Yelena steps up to the lectern and is, like leans right into her ear and says, "We owe you."
Which, by the way, I love this moment where everyone's applauding them because they are the heroes of the day, and they're all just staring back wide-eyed, except for Bob, who's also applauding.
Yeah,
like, Bob, way to go, guys!
Yeah, great.
Yeah,
like Bucky and I think Walker have this look on their face, like, huh?
Yeah, they're just right because Walker's an idiot. He has no idea what's happening. Yeah, and then that's the end of the film.
Credit sequence where there's all these like beautifully designed like fake magazine covers of, are these really the Avengers?
Right. Yeah. It was a commentary on like they were probably a lot of those headlines. They're like, okay, what are some headlines we're going to read about this movie? Mm-hmm. And like some of the toxic ones, and those kind of show up. I thought that was really good. There are two post-credits.
One is Red Guardian in a supermarket. He walks up to this woman who's shopping for cereal and says, "Oh yes, Wheaties, good American cereal." Pulls it off the shelf. There's a picture of the new Avengers on there. He like holds it up next to his own face.
It's a nice moment because he mentioned something earlier in the film about wanting to be on a Wheaties box.
Yeah,
and it felt really good for him that it finally happened. Like,
And this woman like takes the box and like goes away and like leaves the box on the side.
Please stop talking to me, sir.
The other big
the big, because this is a general MCU thing. There's usually two post-credit scenes. One of them's kind of goofy. The other one's usually kind of serious, or very serious. In the like,
this is like a year and a half later, I think.
Yes. And this is on par with. There have been some pretty serious post-credits throughout the day because a lot of shit happens in post-credit scenes in Marvel movies that never go anywhere. This one's not, and like there's a really good example at the end of Captain Marvel. The post-credit scene is Carol showing up after the snap and being like, "Where the fuck is Nick Fury?" And like then it sets it up for Endgame, right? And they do something a little similar here, where it's a little bit of time in the future. There are some copyright issues because it turns out that Sam
Wilson is suing to copyright Avengers, and Red Guardian's like, well, we just call ourselves Avengers with a Z.
Yeah. So like Sam, we learned there might be a little bit of bad blood now between Sam and Bucky, because they're like, why don't you just get your friends with him, go talk to him, and Bucky was like, I did.
Tried, didn't go.
Yeah, it did not go well. So there is this battle to see who the real Avengers are. And then they get an alert from their like system that an extra dimensional ship has entered the solar system.
They mentioned a space crisis, which might be the same thing, might be something else. I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder if that has anything to do with the Marvels.
Possibly.
With like, because they had the Doctor Strange and Ant-Man like excursion where like the dimensions were like colliding or whatever. I'm not sure if that's it, but they get a visual on the extra dimensional ship, and it's the rocket ship from the Fantastic Four trailer.
Yeah.
And it kind of banks, and then you see the Fantastic Four,
and they're like,
and then you hear the music from that too. Which, by the way, that theme, like the Fantastic Four theme from the trailers, is really cool.
Yeah.
And which by the way, also when Fontaine, I can't believe I forgot D. Fontaine. Announces them as the new Avengers, they start playing the Avengers music a little bit, which I thought was really funny. But apparently this movie is going to connect to a Fantastic Four. And my theory is that I think so Fantastic Four is going to be the story of the Herald of Galactus, this Silver Surfer, arrives on Earth, is like, you guys, Galactus is coming, you're all gonna die, so sorry, bye-bye. And Galactus shows up and probably destroys most of Earth,
probably eats the world.
And then they fuck off in their rocket ship to go get help. And because Reed Richards would know like kind of how to do that. And I bet that's probably where they're going with it. And I think I have a good feeling about this Fantastic Four movie. It looks like it'd be a lot of fun.
The visual design is it's something fresh and original that, because Marvel really hasn't
Fantastic
done that.
Four,
that hasn't really done that.
Well,
retro futurist,
right? It is very it is. It's very Stark Expo from the mid-century and everything, and that does look really neat.
Plus, there's Pedro Pascal and Eben Moss-Baccarat.
Yep, and then the other guy too, who was in A Quiet Place Day One, but also played Eddie in Stranger Things season, whatever the one season was also in an episode of Game of Thrones. A really good actor. He's playing Johnny Storm. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
I'm optimistic.
All right, I think that's going to be the end for today. April says, "I've had a busy weekend. Don't know when I'm going to get to go. Go as soon as you can. It was a lot of fun.
It's a good movie."
And then Chris says, "May the force be with you, Daniel and Chris. Hope you're having a good night and you both enjoyed Thunderbolts." We did
very much. So.
Actually, I thought it was a lot of fun, and I what's a good way to I guess arbitrarily rank this?
Out of 12 spent bullet casings.
Oh, we can come up with something better than that. Wheaties boxes.
Okay. Out of 12 empty Wheaties boxes.
11. I give it like an 11.
Yeah, 11's fair.
Yeah.
It's very, very good.
I guess we can. Yeah, I give it a 10.
If you're at all invested in the MCU, you should go see this movie.
It isn't quite Endgame or Infinity War. Even Spider-Man. Really, I feel like it's about on par with Spider-Man in quality. So yeah. So anyway, I will be back. I don't think you will be.
Probably not.
Yeah, I'll be back for some Battlefront here in about 50 minutes or so. Yeah. So come and say hi, and we'll talk more about Star Wars and other nerdy shit. Otherwise, you will see Chris and I together again on Wednesday for the official release of the Jedi Enclave Presents the Now This Is Podcasting podcast.
The recording session? Because you don't officially release it? Or
we do it live.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know. We'll be here on Wednesday.
We'll be here on Wednesday, live on stream, wherever you are watching this.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about Andor episodes 7 through whatever, and then The Last of Us season 2, episode 4. So